What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 14 of our RB Barna Let's Play here in FM20. Today, a massive game ahead. We take on FC Barcelona. We're midway through January. There's been loads going on off the pitch. And, I'm just really enjoying the save game at the moment. We've got loads of young players developing. The team is playing well. We've got a really efficient 4-4-2. This system has been working absolute wonders. And really, for the first time in a little while, I feel like we've got a semi-settled team, which is really nice to be able to say. I'm starting to get a better grasp on, my preferred 11s. There's still a few positions where we have a lot of competition, but for the most part, I feel like I know where we sit now, which is a good position to be in. Of course, you'll notice in the top right, it is January 16th. The transfer window is open. You might be wondering, Jack, are we doing anything? The answer is on the ins. Not right now, no. Not bought anyone yet. He says yet. On the outs, we have made a sale, however. That is Lobotka. He's gone to Atletico Madrid. We got £22 million for him. And I know that's not the craziest amount of money, but for a player who only played one game for us in the first half of the season, I feel like £22 million is just something we can reinvest. When we've got the likes of Hadara, Jedson Fernandez, and of course Florentino Luis battling it out for the centre mid position, it's always going to be tricky to fit him in. And additionally, if we look here, we've got the likes of Alex Blesser coming through, and also Elena, who is somewhere. Where are you? You're here. Who's doing absolutely fantastic. I actually watched a video to work out how to pronounce this guy's name, because I had a few people say, hey, this is how you pronounce it. It's a really difficult Spanish name to say, so I'm just going to say Elena for the sake of fluidity. I know that's not correct. I'm deeply sorry. Spanish has some weird sounding stuff that I just can't do, and it doesn't flow naturally, and yeah, nobody wants that. But yes, we've just been in a really good position. Mariba signed a new contract. Bless is breaking through. These guys, they are for the future. We've got Mariba being trained to play left mid, so he could potentially be the playmaker of the future. Alex, we're training to play at right mid for a potential inverted winger. But the more I'm looking at things kind of longer term, the more I think that this 4-4-2 is going to end up being a system where we end up with just four insanely creative midfielders, players who have incredible vision, incredible passing, and hopefully we can just dominate teams as we have done for large spells of this season. That doesn't mean that, with those sales, I'm not looking to bring players in. There's currently 2 players on my shortlist. There are 2 players, and I'm not sure which I would like to get more. Let's talk about them. The first is Ezekiel Palacios. If we just compare him to Lobotka, you can kind of see a direct head-to-head comparison here. Not a great deal of difference between them, but Palacios has a release clause of £5 million. He can already play naturally at left mid, and I feel like he'd be a good addition to the team. I think the plan with this guy would be to sign him, loan him back to the end of the year, and then next season bring him in, potentially offload 1 or 2 more players in our squad, and, find a spot for him in the team, although he wouldn't be a super regular starter. The other option we have is another centre mid, and I know it might not feel like it makes a lot of sense to, sign another centre mid, but I feel like these 2 players really offer bang for their buck. So Palacios at £5 million. The other option is Mateus Enrique here, a player who I'm going to be honest, I'm not familiar with at all. He plays for Grêmio in Brazil. Look how blooming good this guy is. He is absolutely nuts. Just to put it into kind of perspective, here is him compared to Lobotka. I don't feel like I need to say anything more. He's absolutely insane. We have made an offer. It's £21 million. It's pretty much all the money that we've made off selling Lobotka would go into it. £86,000 a week would make him one of the big earners. It might jeopardise the chance of Jedson Fernandez playing super regularly for us. But I feel like when you compare the 2 players, it would be mental not to try and sign him. So there are other teams interested. We're the only team that's made an offer so far. There's still part of me that's not sure if he's 100% the right fit. As I said, we already have a lot of very good centre mids, but equally, I feel like I'd be missing a massive trick not to bring him in. We're currently in the process of scouting him, so obviously if it throws up, he's inconsistent, or he's injury prone, or he doesn't like big matches, maybe my opinion will swing slightly. But yeah, he looks absolutely insane. There is also the option to potentially train him to play higher up the pitch. It does also open up the opportunity to maybe go to a 4-1-2-1-2 if we really wanted to. You know, a narrow system just because of the amount of quality centre mids we have. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we just compare him to Hadara as well, you can see the difference here. He is just in his own little league, pretty much. It's just crazy. He's very good defensively as well, which could be particularly important with the way that we like to play. And it would also open up the opportunity where if Florentino Luis had a good offer go in for him, it might be slightly easier to sell him on. I just feel like Mateus here, he offers us something at £21 million that you're not going to find in another player. So yeah, bit of a headache. They're the two players I'm looking at. I'd be interested to know if you would go for either of these players, what your thoughts are. Not dissimilar players at all. I don't think we'll sign both. I feel like longer term, it would make sense to move on the likes of Keko, who is just kind of looking a little out of place now in the team with the quality we've got in. Additionally, players like Yavi here, who we've just not played at all this year. You know, if we move him on, if we move Keko on, obviously we're going to have Blessa and Mariba coming into the team who can play in the wider areas, which is probably where I'd be more likely to play them. Obviously, we have Elena who can play out on the left as well. I just feel like both of those players would make a hell of a lot of sense, at least just a really complete and incredible, versatile, creative midfield. Anyway, I realise I've talked for 6 minutes about a couple of players. I apologise. Sometimes it's nice to go in depth with stuff I'm thinking about. To be honest, we've only played 6 games since you were last here, so we'll breeze through these because they were pretty standard games. Obviously, last episode we took on Real Madrid. Didn't do too well against Los Blancos. We have played 3 games either side of a winter break. You can see here we beat Bromby in the Europa League to cap off a flawless run through it. Good to see Fran Lopez getting a goal again in this competition. He's got a decent number of goals in the Europa League. 2 goals in 2 games for him. And additionally, it was just a good, comfortable win in the end. We then beat Getafe, really good to win that one. Jonathan David and Denis Suarez with the goals. We then started our Copa del Rey fixtures where we played Sants. I've never heard of them. I'm going to assume they're a lower league team. We then moved on to beat Eibar 2-0. Very comfortable result there. Taking on Las Palmas in the second round. We won that one 4-0. And most recently, we beat Huesca 3-1. Which was a convincing little performance, even if it did take a very late goal, as you can see here from Mendes, to make sure of the points. So anyway, we've got Barcelona in the league. If we just look at the Copa del Rey, we've got this team to play. Sociedad Deportivo Ponferradina. I'm just going to call them SDP, because that's easier. But yeah, it's, should be, theoretically, he says, an easy draw for us. They're in the relegation zone, I believe, in the second tier of Spain. Yeah, they're struggling quite a lot. They're actually bottom of the league. Hopefully we can beat them. If you were wondering, our B team is currently 7 points in the first place spot, which is really, really good. Obviously, our B team can never play in our division, but they can move into the second division of Spain, which would be very beneficial. And well, you can see from the amount of players ineligible to play today, these are all players who have played in the B team. I really am making a go of the B team this year, which might sound really random, but I do think it's important, to do our utmost, basically, to secure a B team in a higher division. It would basically save us having to loan out as many players to Salzburg. You can see, speaking of the loan players, continuing to develop well. They are not the reason I've come to this page here. I've come to show you Freitas, who is continuing to develop, and I'm very, very excited about. He's got 6 goals for Cordoba at the moment. But the most important thing is our youth candidates. We've got our first preview in, and well, drum roll please. Because despite the fact there's only 3 positives and a lot of mess, we've been told that this is a terrific group of players coming through, and this has a potential to be a real golden generation for the club. Inject that in my veins. The guys just want one thing, and it's disgusting, and it's this. If you get this, you get a little bit excited, don't you? So we could have a good little intake. And interestingly, one of our players is a Greek defender. I don't know where Nia Charavgi is. I'm gonna Google it now, because why not? I'm gonna assume it's in Greece. But why we have a random player from Greece coming, I don't have a clue. Is it in Greece? It's a village in Greece. I'm looking at it on the maps. I almost wish I could show you it. It seems like a very random place for a player to come from. It's in North Greece. It's a village that has a population of 1,200 people. That is a weirdly precise place for one of our players to come through. Let's hope he turns into a hero for us. We can then come up with some name like Zeus for him or some ancient Greek generic name because I'm unimaginative. But yes, exciting times here at Red Bull Barcelona in terms of youth players for the future. So today we've got Barcelona. Just to look at the league, obviously you've seen we've won all our games since you were last here, although they were games we should be winning. And, well, the teams behind us have just fallen off the pace. You can see here Athletic Club Bilbao currently sit 4th. They are 7 points behind us. Atleti, who you would expect to be, in 3rd place, let's be honest, they have been struggling. They've drawn 8 games this year. They've only lost 2, but all those draws have really, really cost them. They have a game in hand on us, so that is probably worth noting. But even if they were to win it, they would still be 7 points behind us. In truth, we're now at a situation where I feel like we should be getting top 4. We need to win this game today against Barcelona, I think, to say, yes, we could be in with a title chance, which even if we win this game, we would still be trailing Real Madrid by 4 points and they'd have a game in hand. So we'd still need a bit of a miracle. You can see here Real Madrid yet to lose after over half of the season played. But a good opportunity here to close the gap on them and at least short-term seize 2nd place. So let's go for it, shall we? In team news, just worth noting, Reguilon is out suspended. Santi Mina has been out as well. So he's only available for 45 minutes. I did look at potentially moving on Hurtado, obviously with the 2 players that were looking to sign, Palacios and Mateus. They are both players who would count as foreign. That would cause us a little bit of an issue. I've been looking at potentially loaning out this guy because we are blessed in the striking position. He's not scored in the league. It's not great, is it? Let's be honest. And he's on the bench for a reason rather than starting. We're going to go with David and Haaland. These 2 guys, if I'm not mistaken, have been our 2 top goal scorers this year. The Santi Mina bit is a little bit unfortunate, really. Actually, you can see it. Jedson Fernandez, 9 goals from centre mid. I did actually train him. I didn't really talk about this, but I gave him the player trait to get forward whenever possible. I feel like that's made a really big difference for this guy. He's not afraid to commit and get forward. But yes, Santi Mina's unavailable today, so it's going to be David and Haaland to play for us. If we just look at injury history, by the way, and then sort by date, we've had a load of players with like colds and viruses. I kind of wish we'd done some warm weather training. You can see no real long-term super serious injuries, at least to first team players. It's just been lots of unfortunate injuries, I guess, which is annoying. The good news, I guess, is that we only have 1 total, which is close to being the fewest in the league. But, everyone's fit now. We've given them all flu jabs, and jobs are good. And Reguilon is obviously suspended, so Tavares is going to come in at left-back. Estevez is holding down the right-back position for us. The rest of the team is kind of what you'd expect. Onguene had a lot of interest in January. I rejected a £20 million bid. And he has now signed a new contract, which is really, really good news. He didn't want a massive raise either, which was nice. The board have given us a little bit more wage budget this year. However, that has mostly been eaten up by just giving first-team players new contracts. Blanco, for example, there was some interest from Arsenal. They bid £25 million. I did weigh up the possibility of selling him, but he is a homegrown at-club player as a prospect and as a product of Celta Vigo. That is very important for Europe in terms of squad registration, so I couldn't really justify selling him at that price, and he kind of wanted to stay anyway, which was nice. And, let's talk about that. Oh, that's so unfortunate. I think it's hit on Gwene's shins and gone in. VAR's give it... Oh, it's offside. Okay. Well, we've already had more action than we had in the entirety of the Real Madrid game. Concerningly, it's down our end and we need to defend this here. But yes, the linesman has spared Onguene his blushes because that would have been an own goal. Jordi Alba here, can he cross it in? We don't want him to. Now with De Jong, they're knocking the ball around nicely here, but we've got lots of men behind the ball. Jordi Alba now with it. De Jong breaks free. What can he do here? He lays it back to Ousmane Dembele. He lays it to Griezmann. Lovely block. That might have been a really good opportunity, and indeed it was. We've not really been at the races so far. We are away from home. Some would call it naive to play this 4-4-2 attacking system, but it really has worked well for us. And, go on. I thought for a second we were going to see a Football Manager match engine classic where the keeper doesn't come out for it. Unfortunately, the header did run all the way through. But well, we're going to try and do a little bit of pressing here, but we don't really overcommit with our press. We want to rush them, but without leaving ourselves exposed. And while speaking of leaving ourselves exposed, De Jong is through, and he tucks it away superbly. Busquets, I think, pinged an insane ball from deep. Age has not caught up with Busquets yet, unfortunately for us. You can see he's playing alongside Arthur and De Jong, who I guess are two slightly younger centre mids in the grand scheme of things. De Jong making a surging run forward. Could Onguene have done a little bit better? Maybe. I do wonder if the fact he was on a booking has meant he hasn't been as keen to go in for a tackle. We are without Reguilon at left back, which is unfortunate because he is our captain. He unfortunately got suspended last game through an accumulation of yellow cards. But alas, we have to deal with it. But I do feel like Tavares, unlike at right back where I feel like we have obviously Kevin and also Estevez, at left back, I'm not sure if Tavares is quite of the same quality as Reguilon, even if I'm not overly convinced by either of them as kind of super long-term options at the club. Anyway, I'm not liking the nervous body language, so let's try and drill that out of our players with a demand more shout. I find this year in FM, if in doubt, just demand more, basically. And then Griezmann will score that against you. So, yeah, pro tips. That's annoying. They're 2-0 up after 35 minutes, and they've had more clear-cut chances. We've actually had 3 half chances of our own. I think Blanco gets an initial hand to that. It's very, very unfortunate. It cannons in off the crossbar, and it immediately undoes the talk that we just did. Although we've got a set piece here. A goal before half-time could help us. Jedson Fernandez, 10 goals for the season from centre mid. He's got a lot from that kind of position as well on free kicks. That is certainly not his first back post header. And, it's Brais Mendes whipping the ball in. A great ball in, to be fair. And ter Stegen, I think it is, in goal. Might feel a little bit disappointed to get beaten there, but it was a well-directed header with power, and it gives us a shred of hope. I feel like Jedson Fernandez, when he scores and we're 2 goals down, things happen. Right, I'm going to give a shout of demand more from the players. In truth, Nuno Tavares has been goddamn awful, but I don't have another left-back option. The only thing I could really possibly do would be, I think Kevin can kind of play left-back. Oh, that is kind of tempting, you know. I'm actually going to do that. I feel like the youngster's kind of been made a mockery of in the half, and I'm just going to play it safe. He got booked in the 16th minute. I don't want to risk anything. Yes, Kev can't play left back, and I know he's known for his terrible, terrible discipline. I'm going to put faith in him today that he's going to be well behaved at left back. Cue him now to give away a penalty immediately as the ball's whipped in. Ousmane Dembele's header just wide of the post. That's concerning. Literally a minute into the second half and already Barcelona on the attack. Although we're only 1 goal down. We've had more shots. Not had quite as much possession. But yeah, it's not like we're penned in our own half and not doing anything at all. Although we need to be wary here. Semedo bringing the ball forward. Kevin put in a tackle, my friend. I mean, fortunately, Semedo's made a pretty terrible decision there to go for the shot. I am thinking about bringing in Santi Mina. I was told he was fit enough for 45 minutes. So with 35 minutes left, it feels like it might make sense. Let's see if we can weather this storm, though, here first. It's Luis Suarez down the right-hand side. Onguene, nice little tackle on a booking. He's got to be careful. And careful he has been there. With a well-timed tackle. David's header there is poor. And I'm thinking he might be the man to make way. Even if Haaland has a slightly worse rating so far in this game, I feel like he's a bit of a game changer. And well, oh, that's so unfortunate. Blanco makes a save. It falls straight back to the feet of Luis Suarez. And, well, he's going to eat that up for breakfast. And then maybe the goalkeeper as well. But yeah, the save wasn't too bad at all from the initial effort. But unfortunately for Blanco, he just couldn't parry it wide. And it fell straight back to Suarez's feet. And yeah, with that, we're going to make some changes. I'm going to bring in Mina, and I'm also, this might seem controversial, I'm going to bring in Florentino Luis. I was thinking about, do I want to bring in Elena, or do I want to bring in Florentino Luis? I'm going to go with Florentino Luis, just because Denis Suarez is playing, he's playing against his former club. Elena technically would also be playing against his former club. Both players who have had extended periods of time at Barcelona, so probably have points to prove. But I don't know, Suarez, I need him to step up and be counted. He's the kind of player who can make something out of nothing. He can have an awful game and then he'll come alive in the last 10 minutes, and we need that from him here. And while Haaland could do the same here, does do the same here. Santi Mina on off the bench. You've left the ball in the goal, Haaland. Okay, I thought he was rushing up to the halfway line with the ball. Instead, he decided to punch the air. That's interesting, actually. Do you know why he's done that? The reason he's not run to the corner... Actually, no, it's not. I was going to say it's because he has the player trait, likes to get the fans going. He doesn't, though. So I'm just talking rubbish. I feel like I've only ever seen that before, because it's kind of unusual for him just to run back like that and do a thing in the middle of the pitch. But I felt like that was only done if a player had the player trait, likes to get fans fired up. But apparently that's not the case. We have 3 minutes plus added time. It's time to push our men forward. Do I want to put them on attack? I do. I'm not even going to pretend. Kevin, I know how much you love to go forward. Same for you, Estevez. It's time to be a little bit more direct. A little bit more direct. A little bit more pressing. Get it over the defence. We have pace here, so I'm hoping that we can just get the ball over once and then let Haaland run onto it. That's the dream. Tactical changes won't be made till after this highlight, so let's hope that this is just a pointless one and we're not about to concede and go 2 goals down again, because otherwise this change feels like it's happened a little bit too little too late. Firpo with the ball here at left back, trying to get it in, gives it to Florentino Luis. I mean, if we score now, do I still want to make the change? Maybe. Florentino Luis. I mean, it's a great run. Is there end product? Yes, there is. The sub is genius. I'm patting myself on the back. Great sub, Jack. It's only his 5th goal of the year. He had 4 goals after 3 games, if I'm not mistaken. Started the season crazily well. Has been a little off the pace. What a run this is, though. They think, he's defensive midfielder. We don't need to worry about him. He can't do anything going forward. Oh, would it be naive to continue going as attacking as we are? It probably would be. But you know what? A draw isn't going to get us any closer to Real Madrid. We need to win. Technically, a draw does get us closer, but we need 3 points. There's a matter of minutes left. There's 2 minutes to be precise, and we had a corner. Semedo is going to try and get it away. We've got to be a little bit cautious here, because they could be about to make something magical happen. It's Firpo, the left back, bringing it forward. Although actually, Firpo might be playing left mid, thinking about it, judged by the fact that's had Semedo. The ball has bounced, though, to Mendes here. What can you do, Mendes? He's tackled. Haaland. Oh, I thought Haaland was going to run for that then. It's gone all the way back to ter Stegen. There's a minute and a half left. Is there a chance in this for us, or is it going their way? There's something going to happen. The suspense is killing me. De Jong is bringing the ball forward. Stop it. Goes over. I'm going to go very attacking. There's 30 seconds left. Why did I go very attacking? Why did I do it? I had a rush of blood, folks. I've got carried away. Let's hope I don't regret it. What are we doing at the back? Luis Suarez bringing it forward. Stop him. Kanate, you absolutely beautiful man. He keeps it in as well. Don't go back there. Get it out. That'll do us. That tackle by Kanate might have just saved us the point. But Barcelona will be unhappy. I mean, they will be. They were 3-1 up with 10 minutes left. The fact we fought back there is superb. And Kevin did pretty well, didn't he? Maybe he is the left back of our dreams. I was like, why is it saying we've won? The reason it's saying we've won is because our B team has won. Well done, B team. At least one of our teams won. Busquets got man of the match. How is he looking? I mean, he's pretty blooming good, isn't he, in Football Manager terms? For some reason, I thought he was older than 32. Is that weird? I guess it's because I kind of put him in the same bracket as the likes of Iniesta and Xavi. But he's not as old as them, as we've now found out. But yes, the good news is Reguilon is no longer going to be suspended. I didn't mention it actually, but the Europa League draw has been made. We've got Dynamo Zagreb, so I think that's when we'll be back next time, probably for a double header of Europa League action. There is also Real Madrid there. I think we'll see how the league campaign is looking. If we're 10 points behind Real Madrid, chances are all eyes will be on the Europa League and Copa del Rey. They will be the 2 competitions we really focus on. I genuinely feel like, having beaten Tottenham twice, we now have to consider ourselves a team that should be competing for the Europa League this year. Zagreb is a pretty kind draw. They've lost a few of their key players. Ademi is considered their key player right now. He's kind of average. That's a little harsh. He's now going to score a hat-trick against us as a defensive midfielder. But no, in the grand scheme of things, we should be beating them. But that's when we'll be back next time. It's going to get tasty, isn't it? Europa League knockout stages. I feel like any European knockout stage gets tasty, but there's something about the Europa League. You go up against teams that well, at least in my instance, I don't feel as familiar with. And the unknown kind of scares me a little bit versus, taking on the likes of a Manchester United, a Real Madrid, a Barcelona, a Bayern, the standard teams you come up against in the Champions League in Football Manager, basically. But anyway, that is tomorrow's problem. We'll worry about that then. Hopefully I do see you guys for it. Let me know what you make of the transfers. Would you bring in Matías Enrique here? I feel like if I can get him, I kind of have to spend silly money to get him in, but it's probably going to be worth every penny. And he would be a massive, massive upgrade on what we have. And he's only 23, of course. We've kind of got to wait for the scout reports to come in, see what they make of him as well. I don't want to rush into too many decisions, but on the face of it, it kind of feels a little bit like a no-brainer to me. But anyway, folks, that is all from me today. Hopefully you've enjoyed it as always. Do drop a like on the video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.